My name is I am the Director of Athletic Communications here at Gettysburg, and tonight we celebrate the outstanding accomplishments of our former student athletes who have gained entry into the Hall of Athletic Honor. Since 1978, when 29 athletes were elected, don't worry, we don't have that many inductees tonight, the Hall has recognized the greatest sports figures in Gettysburg's long athletics history. And tonight, the total number of inductees reaches 256 with the addition of tonight's new class. But before we meet the new members, we need to take a moment to honor those individuals in attendance who have already stood upon the stage and have had their names etched in history. When I call your name, please stand at your table and remain standing until all current members in attendance have been called. This was strategic with the first inductee I'm going to announce because we want to make him stand the longest. Joe Denali, former head athletic trainer and men's lacrosse coach. Joe here? All for now. Tim McGinnis, class of 2003. Jake Dell, class of 1998. Amanda Perun-Dolan, class of 1986. Ryan Barr, class of 1986. Lisa Domenico-Campbell, class of 1984. David Portman, class of 1979. Ken Snyder, class of 1965. Richard Hopkins, class of 1959. Jack Bray, class of 1957. And tonight representing her husband, George Motter, class of 1947, who recently passed away, Anna Motter. Congratulations to all of us honored inductees, and welcome back to Gettysburg College. And now, I get to leave the stage and introduce Mike Mancini, Executive Director of Intercollegiate Athletics and Campus Recreation. I think I got all that right, Mike, right?
Thank you, Corey. Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to the 2019 Hall of Athletic Honor Celebration. I first want to thank the Orange and Blue Club for putting this evening together. There's a lot of work that goes into tonight, and I especially want to thank Jan Shara, Carl Folks, Corey Jewett, and our new director of the Orange and Blue Club, Justin Carson, for their effort and hard work to make this event go so smoothly. And I'd like to ask Justin to stand up. He's been with us for only 2 months, so everybody can see who he is. Welcome. This event is one of the favorite things we do as an athletic department. Tonight is a very special night and gives us the opportunity to recognize accomplishments of some of the very best student athletes Gettysburg College has produced, connect with old friends and teammates, share memories, and reflect on how great it is to be a Bullet. I especially want to give a warm welcome, congratulate, and thank each of the inductees for being here tonight. Tonight is all about you, and I hope it is a night you will always remember. This year's class of inductees is an impressive group chosen by their peers. It includes conference champions, NCAA tournament participants, Player of the Year award winners, all conference, all region, and all American recipients, and career record holders. Some of those records are still intact today. We are all very proud of these accomplishments and hope they can inspire our current and future Gettysburg student athletes to carry on our tradition of success. When all of these inductees were here as student athletes, they represented themselves, their teams, the college, and their families very well. This group accepted the challenge, put in the work, and overcame adversity placed in front of them to achieve their goals. Beyond the individual accomplishments, these inductees had positive impacts on their teammates on and off the court and field. Those lasting bonds that were formed and life lessons that were learned along the way have more meaning than any personal triumph achieved. That is why we have so many helping us celebrate this great group of inductees tonight. Thanks again for coming. We're in for a wonderful evening. And now I'd like to introduce our newly installed 15th president of Gettysburg College, Bob Giuliano.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to campus. It is just a pleasure to see you all and to have the opportunity to share in your celebration of all that you've accomplished. This is a special night for Gettysburg College, but it really is a special night for all of you and the legacies that you have helped create and sustain, and the model that you demonstrated by virtue of the hard work, the perseverance that you deployed while you were students and athletes here, and how that continues to inspire our athletes today. So let me start by joining in the congratulations to this year's inductees. Again, what you have done, the talent, the dedication that you have demonstrated by virtue of the work that you did here as athletes, and what you continue to do outside of your time at the college is inspiring. So please, would everyone join me in congratulating this year's inductees. Beyond that, I'd like to thank the rest of the people who are here tonight as well. It is such a reflection of what Division III athletics is about, and in some respects what athletics is about generally. The sense of teamwork, the bonds that are created, the support that we give to one another. It is reflected by the fact that you all came back to celebrate with your teammates and your classmates, your friends, the people that you developed those bonds with while on this campus, that you're here to recognize their accomplishments and to share in their special moment. As someone who just went through this and had friends around, I know how much it means. I've had a real privilege this fall of seeing some of the work of Gettysburg athletics in action over the course of the season so far, whether it's soccer games, haven't yet seen a field hockey game, football and the like, and beginning to get the real sense of what it means to be part of this athletic community. Not only on the field, but among the stands, the sense of community that follows from that. I've been looking forward to this event since Mike mentioned it to me early on, because it's very much about something that matters to this place, and that is a recognition in the importance of excellence. We want our students to be excellent in the classroom. We want our athletes to pursue excellence in the field. We have a conservatory where our students pursue excellence in the sphere of music and the creative arts. What you all are here recognizing tonight and celebrating is a form of that excellence, and it makes me proud to be part of it. Athletics has always mattered. It mattered to me as a kid growing up, as I'm fond of saying. Mike has heard me saying this. I practiced 1 year of football in college. That means I never got on the field, but I did practice 1 year. And it has mattered to me and my kids, and I know it matters to you, because it teaches lessons that we think matter to the way in which we want our students to learn. Whether it's leadership, resiliency, the ability to communicate with teammates, preparation, and teamwork. Those are all on display in our inductees today. They're talents that we want our students to leave with. We now have about 20% of our students participating in intercollegiate sports. So this is an essential part of what we do here at this college. Now, we do, of course, care about success in the fields and the pitches and in the courts. But as you know, our program is more than just about wins and losses, as important as it is. It is also about the importance of leadership, of developing character. And these are things that I know Mike regards as important, the coaches regard as important, and we see very much reflected in our student athletes. When the football captains were announced, I dropped them a note and reminded them that they are not just leaders on the field, but they are leaders on the campus as well. And being who they were, they both stopped by my office to say hello and committed themselves to leading the campus with the sort of grace and responsibility that we would want. So I will let us turn to dinner, I hope, soon, and end by again congratulating our inductees, thanking you all for being present, expressing my personal gratitude at the invitation to join you tonight, and looking forward to hearing more about our inductees, and looking forward to seeing the Gettysburg Athletic Program continue to thrive by virtue of your support. So thank you.
And now I'd like to introduce the Chair of the Orange and Blue Advisory Council, Rich Sadler.
Thank you, Corey, for the introduction. Didn't realize I'd have to be the tough act to follow there. I think he said most of what I wanted to say, President. But President Giuliano, Mr. Mattia, Mr. Carson, members of the Gettysburg College community, alums, and most importantly, tonight's honorees, welcome. To the honorees, in the words of the great sports philosopher Yogi Berra, thank you for making this night necessary. Growing up in northern New Jersey, I loved watching Saturday football on TV with my dad. My team was Michigan. I dreamed of playing for Coach Schoenbeckler. As an 8-year-old, I had two very important reasons for that. One, I loved the helmet. To this day, I still think it is one of the best helmets in college football. Two, I wanted to hear Keith Jackson give me a whoa Nelly description of a play that I just made. It was not meant to be. For some reason, Michigan had no need for a 5'10", 205-pound offensive lineman. Fortunately for me, Gettysburg College and our football program welcomed me in 1979. And in 1981, I got my mention on TV during a regional broadcast of one of our games on ABC by Greg Mace. To those of you from the central Pennsylvania area, you know Greg is our equivalent to Keith Jackson. I'm thankful for the opportunities afforded to me to be a student athlete at Gettysburg. Perhaps that is one of the biggest differences between Division I and Division III. It seems too often Division I is preparing athletes to turn professional, while Division III is preparing athletes for life. Now, while the NCAA, many states, and even the federal government debate whether to pay college players or what players can generate sponsors, we at Gettysburg can still focus on those life preparations, the well-rounded total experience on campus for the student athletes. Make no mistake, we still take our sport seriously. The players show and exert the same time, dedication, and desire in training, practice, and games. But with that is still the opportunity for them to define their lives and prepare for the future. In sports, we often talk about courage, grit, and dedication on the game field. However, I like to think that Gettysburg prepares our student athletes to show that true courage, grit, and dedication in dealing with real life. For over 40 years now, the Orange and Blue Club has played a role in assisting our student athletes to define and grow into their lives. Millions have been raised to benefit our players and coaches, both on and off the field. To all who have given, thank you. Funds have been used to refurbish locker rooms, rebuild backstops, add bleachers, create a wall of honor, and so much more. To Jack Green, an even bigger thank you for your vision in starting the club. To all who serve or have served on the council, I also thank you. While the club may be 40, our work has just begun. It is my honor and privilege to chair the Orange and Blue Advisory Council, and I look forward to our council helping Justin do great things in the future for our student athletes. To our coaches, thank you for all you do for our student athletes. Please share this message from me to your athletes. Thank them for their hard work, their passion for their sport, and their 100% effort on every play. Remind them not to worry so much about being best on the team, but rather to put their focus on being best for the team. Thank you again. Enjoy the night. Go Bullets.
The best part of that 1981 football game is the pregame interview with Greg Mace, head coach Barry Streeter, and Scott Dudak, with Barry wearing a sweatshirt and short shorts in 40-degree weather. Anyways, it's now my pleasure to introduce the Reverend Chris Largan for tonight's invocation.
If you are a tennis fan, and even if you are not, you probably watched at least some of the US Open last month. And if you did, you'll remember that one of the most amazing moments of that tournament didn't happen during the match, but after it. I'm talking, of course, about the exchange between Naomi Osaka, the seasoned veteran, all of 21 years old, and the young 15-year-old phenom, Coco Gauff. The match between them had been hyped ridiculously, as often happens in sports, but it went as you imagine a match might go between the number 1 player in the world and number 106. Straight sets, 6-3, 6-0, 65 minutes. Coco was devastated. She felt she had let everyone down, and she was ready to retreat alone to the locker room and cry in the shower. But Naomi insisted that they do the post-match interview together, and it was something to see. Each was extraordinarily gracious. Each was respectful to the other. Each was kind and complimentary. And in that moment, I thought, this is the best of what sports are and what sports do. Of course, winning is important, and surely these athletes we honor tonight are all winners. But the character formation, the personhood that comes from being an athlete is what really matters. In those moments when we find ourselves on life's stage, called upon to be the best of ourselves, that is when the discipline, hard work, dedication, and perseverance pay off, as we are able to be people of grace, magnanimity, and generosity. That's what really makes a difference, and that is what endures. Lots of people can be athletes, but to be an athlete worthy of honor, that is something else entirely. I now invite you to pray with me. Gracious and loving God, you have knit each of us together and gifted us richly and uniquely. We give you thanks for this community and for these individuals we honor tonight. Continue to inspire them and us to be the best of ourselves, kind, generous, and respectful. Give us all the courage and the will to use our gifts for the betterment of others and for the upbuilding of the whole human family. We pray in gratitude and hope. Amen.
Good evening, welcome back. As you can see, we're about ready to start the presentation, so let's all keep our fingers crossed technology works for us. We begin tonight's ceremony with a holdover from the class of 2018, who was unable to make last year's event, but has made it to join us tonight so we can honor her amazing career. Let's get right to the video for 2001 grad and 2 sports star, Jennifer White.
Jennifer White was a dual sport star from the outset of her career at Gettysburg College, going on to capture a total of 7 All-Centennial Conference honors in her 4 years. The Quakertown, Pennsylvania native began her collegiate athletics career alongside the field hockey team and quickly established herself as a major contributor for the nationally renowned program.
Jenny White had a huge impact on the Gettysburg field hockey program. She was a dynamic player, loved game day, and just was a firecracker for our offensive line. She was the type of player that had a nose for the goal, and we could rely on her to produce a point, as her stats tell that story. Having 71 points in 75 games, the girl made a difference.
During her time with the Bullets field hockey team, White helped the program capture conference titles in 1997, 1998, and 1999. She was named All-Conference in each of her final 3 seasons, including first-team honors in 2000. As a senior, White led the team with 9 goals and 22 points on the way to being named All-America Third Team. She played alongside the program's biggest stars and made her own mark as a prominent figure on the roster.
The time that Jen competed at Gettysburg, the women's field hockey team was super strong, as they are now. She had a lot of great teammates around her, and collectively, they just were dominant, winning 3 conference championships in her 4 years. You can't do that alone, and she really worked well with her teammates around her, and they collaborated so well together, and that attacking unit, on any given day, someone could be the one that shined, and they really complemented all the roles that they brought to the team.
In the spring, the versatile White traded her stick for her bat and took her cuts with the softball team. In her first season with the team, she set single-season records for hits, doubles, triples, and total bases. She hit over 400 in each of her first 2 seasons with the Bullets and went on to become the first Gettysburg player to be named first-team All-Centennial Conference 4 times. In 1999, she helped the Bullets clinch the league crown and advance to the NCAA Division III playoffs.
Being a 2-sport athlete at Gettysburg is an incredible accomplishment, and having the type of success that Jenny did in both field hockey and softball, 7 all-conference awards, 4 conference titles within her 4 years is incredible. Her ability with her bat and her field hockey stick lended itself to amazing eye-hand coordination that served her really well in both of these sports.
White graduated from Gettysburg with a degree in health and physical education in 2001. She remains an active athlete competing in softball tournaments across the country while working as a health and physical education teacher at the Philadelphia Academy Charter School. One of the most decorated 2-sport student athletes in the history of Gettysburg College, White can add another piece of hardware to her trophy case as a prominent member of the Hall of Athletic Honor.
Jen White most certainly has earned this incredible honor, for she has more than represented the orange and blue with pride, dedication, and a game day mentality that we will all long remember.
Thank you and good evening. It's truly an honor to be standing before you, and I want to thank all my family and everyone that's involved in getting me here because it was quite a challenge. Before I start with my speech, I want to start with the fact that it's been too long. I've been away for over 18 years, and when I came back on the campus and I got an opportunity to see the field hockey girls and speak to them, and I got the opportunity to sit and talk to my coach and just shoot and talk about the old things and all the people that were around me. I truly was blessed when I was here because I had so many athletes that were talented and such a support system that helped me. As I'm getting ready to talk about my support system, I want to apologize to my mom because she doesn't want to hear this about herself. She has a hard time taking compliments. I was not, Gettysburg wasn't my first choice, and as I sat with Coach and we were trying to recall and think about the recruiting time, there was really no recruiting time. This was on a whim, and it actually ended up working out. But first, I want to talk about my awesome family and my mom. My family had to make a lot of sacrifices. Like I said, Gettysburg wasn't my first choice that I was looking at, and there were many colleges that were interested in having me play sports for them. However, after a few visits at the big colleges, I went home one day and I had to talk to my mom and tell her that I couldn't take any of those offers. It was a trying day. She cried a little. She was wondering how she would get me through college because she knew I wanted to go to college, but I wasn't accepting an offer from a college that just wanted me to play one sport. Soon after, she brought me here and we had our walking tour, and it was right around the fountain. The fountain was going. It was a gorgeous blue day. You could almost smell field hockey in the air. And she turned to me and she smiled. She told me, she goes, "You're going here, aren't you?" I tried to play it off. I really did. Oh, no, I'm not going here. But she already knew that Gettysburg was a match for me and I was a match for it. And it was thanks to her and my brother that I was able to do some of the things I was, and actually be one of the first people in my family to attend college and graduate college. So I do want to thank my mom for that and my brother. When people ask me where I attended, I joke around and tell them Gettysburg. It's better than Disney World. I'm not quite sure if that's true because the whole Star Wars complex thing coming out. However, Gettysburg truly was better than Disney World for me. It was a place that molded me into the person I am now as a teacher, coach, official, and just overall family member and human being. It wasn't until a few years ago, and actually when I started seeing some people here on campus, that I realized that playing a sport is very difficult. Playing 4 years, many don't do it. Playing 2 sports is very unique and special, and I think I took it granted for it because I truly just played the sports I loved. For field hockey, when I walked on, because I didn't come the first 2 weeks, and I think that was just planning, I didn't want to get sore like some of my roommates. There were 24 of us. There were 24 awesome freshmen. Thank goodness we were living close to each other, so when we walked up and down the stairs, we could just shake our heads and nod, and everyone understood that it was hard even sitting on a toilet. True story. But when I ended, there was, in the one picture, there were 6. Christy, she was unable to finish our season with us, so my senior year, there were 5. 5 of us that ended field hockey from 24, and that tells you to a testament of how hard it is and how truly special it is being a D3, and it takes a lot of work. It's not as easy as everyone thinks. The truth of the matter is that I was blessed. I was blessed to be on 2 incredible teams. I went to the NCAAs twice, and in 3 years in field hockey, we made it to playoffs twice. For softball, I believe it was 2. Most people don't get to say that. I never thought that I was going to break records or set records, and truly, as Coach said on the video, I was a game day player, not so much practice. More game day, turning it on, and where was I kind of hiding it? And I think that's where her frustration was with me. And she bared with me, and she put up with me for 4 long years. I was talented to be around girls. I was talented to be around family. It was the first time I truly understood what a team family was. Not someone that was trying to get my position, someone that was trying to make me better on the field and also off the field. I was trying to aspire to amazing people like Becky Griffin and Seth Fisher, who I can never ever beat in anything. And Mandy Wilson in softball, someone that came in after me, and I'm pretty sure she was a little bit smaller than me, but she still hit the ball so much farther. I truly just wanted to live up to people's dreams and fill shoes of people that I saw on my team. There are so many more people that I have to thank. Coaches that during my senior year, when I thought about just leaving it all because I was student teaching, talked to me, even though that they were coaching at a different college. Spent the time to make sure that they invested in me. And it went a lot farther. I truly don't have time to thank all of those people, but I want to thank them all, and hopefully they'll watch us so they know what they mean. Because there were some amazing things that happened, like being part of Coach's 500th win for field hockey, and trying to fill her room with balloons, which horribly went wrong because we did not quite exactly know how many balloons it took to fill an office. And our office was pretty tiny, so that's how many balloons we had. Or talking about going and being in a warm-up where Coach is telling us to stretch and focus, and we're thinking of words that are just wrong to say. all those things, and with all those things happening, something clicked that made my 4 years here magical, and through that magic, I was able to be on teams that did amazing things with amazing people. And in all honesty, they just let me do what I wanted to do, which was play a game that I love. I do love something a little bit more now, which is my husband for 10 years and my family. However, they let me do my second love, which is playing sports, and I just happen to do it well with a lot of talented people. So I want to thank you for having me here. Thank you for inducting me. I don't think it truly has sunk in yet, some of the things I have done here, because in all honesty, like so many people said, it was just so easy to be here, and I was a right fit, and Gettysburg was a right fit for me. So thank you.
All right, next up. Every time I look at our next inductee stats, I feel like I'm staring at a video game where somebody put the difficulty level down to easy. You'll know what I mean once you see the next clip about football and baseball star Joe Cordova.
Joe Cordova arrived on the Gettysburg campus in the fall of 1993, and although he would go on to a storied career on the baseball diamond, his first athletics experience with the Orange and Blue came on the football field, where he played safety for head coach Barry Streeter and assistant coach John Campo, who would mentor the Haddonfield, New Jersey native in the spring as well.
Well, I had the good fortune of coaching Joe in both sports. I was coaching defense at the time, and in particular, I was coaching defensive backs, which so Joe was with me. And it was apparent right away, Joe is a very, very, excellent athlete. First of all, he's a very powerful built guy. With his athleticism, he had great balance, ran well, good foot quickness and agility. Became apparent right away that he was an upper level athlete that could really help our team.
Cordova had an outstanding 2-year stint with the Bullets football program, piling up at least 70 tackles in each of his campaigns. He was named the Centennial Conference Defensive Player of the Week and ECAC Rookie of the Week after posting 18 tackles against Dickinson in 1993, and he led the Bullets to an 8-2 overall record in 1994. The athletic Cordova made a smooth transition to the baseball diamond in the spring and quickly made his mark as one of the conference's most feared batters.
He was a compact, powerful guy. And that was the thing I realized right away. He had a short, quick, compact swing with a lot of power. And he could run, he hit for power, hit for average. So those were the things that translated to baseball. From football, just general athleticism, but also now his ability to drive a baseball.
After back-to-back seasons batting .368, Cordova hit 400 plus in both 1996 and 1997, including a league-leading .461 clip as a junior, which was the highest batting average by a Bullet in 3 decades. He was honored as an All-Centennial Conference first-team selection in his final 2 campaigns, as well as earning all ECAC and all Mid-Atlantic region status.
Well, obviously he's a great player, great hitter. In my tenure here, probably the best pure hitter that we've had. And I think if you look at the stats, it's hard to dispute that, right? But he was an excellent teammate, a good leader, guy who wanted to win. And that kind of exudes itself to all the other players. So I think not only did Joe bring talent to the field, but he also brought all those other things that you love to see on a team. And he was well respected by his teammates, and that's always lends itself to, the team aspect of things. It wasn't all about Joe, it was about the team. Susquehanna's old field, they really didn't have an outfield fence. It was kind of like a hedgerow, and then maybe a fence over and right, but there was this gap in the hedges there where were a bunch of boulders, and behind there was like a fraternity house, and a lot of guys used to come up and stand up on the boulders and kind of heckle the other team and whatnot. And Joe was in left field that day, and he'd already hit a homer earlier in the game. And then if I remember correctly, it was his second one. I mean, he hit like a missile right into the middle of these guys and like scattered them. And it was almost like, okay, he was aiming for these guys. And it still sticks in my memory that it was a rocket, and it was hit right into the middle of these guys, like, oh, like he was aiming right for these guys because of all their heckling throughout the game. So that's one memory that really sticks out for me.
Cordova finished his career as the program's all-time leader in numerous categories, including batting average, slugging percentage, runs scored, and triples, all marks he still holds to this day. He finished as the conference's career leader in batting average with a mark of .406. Cordova graduated from Gettysburg with a degree in business management in 1997, and he's worked for mortgage companies since his graduation, including Evesham Mortgage since 2012. He is married to 1996 Gettysburg graduate Kristen Lundgren, and the couple has 2 children, Michaela and Jaden. The only Bullet to carry a career batting average over .400 in the last 5 decades, Joe Cordova joins a long list of great baseball players to gain entry into the Hall of Athletic Honor.
Well, I think Joe Cordova deserves to be in the Gettysburg College Hall of Athletic Honor for several reasons. Number one, he was an outstanding 2-sport athlete, great baseball player. In my tenure here, probably the best, like I said earlier, pure hitter that we've ever had. Tremendous statistics, all conference, all region, all ECAC caliber player. But not only that, Joe was a great teammate and a great leader. And for all of those reasons, I believe he deserves to be in the Gettysburg College Hall of Athletic Honor.
I gotta say, I really wanted that plaque. I really needed that plaque. This came at a perfect time in my life. Selfishly, I think every former athlete wants some sort of proof that they existed. Nowadays, when I say I play football, baseball, the first things I hear are catcher, offensive lineman. Not that there's anything wrong with being an O-lineman, Rob Holmes. I have respect for my O-lineman, but I wanted something that was still existing for me. And at home, we have a local swim club where my 2 kids right here still swim at. And I did have that, which existed for me. I had a record in the 8 and under butterfly 25 meters. This record has lasted since 1983. I went to watch these kids last year swim and sat down and watched this 8 and under event, and all of a sudden, 17 seconds later, some little blonde-headed punk Mason Markowski beat my record. Therefore, erasing me from the record books and everything I had to show, I was an athlete. So I thank you so much for this plaque. I want to sincerely thank Gettysburg College and the Orange and Blue Club for nominating me for this tremendous honor. I would also like to congratulate the other 2019 inductees. When I read all the accomplishments of the inductees, I couldn't help but feel honored and humbled to be in such a class. I'd like to thank Corey and his team for a phenomenal job on the video slideshow. It was fun going through all the old pictures to send to Corey, but as I did so, I realized this was a long, long time ago. And yet, I can still meet up and run into friends from Gettysburg as if no time had passed at all. To put it in perspective, we had no cell phones, iPads, we took no selfies, we barely had email, there was definitely no Instagram, Snapchat, or TikTok. We pegged our jeans, we still had the grunge look, and I even had a picture I was once proud of with these guys here too in table 15, receiving our diploma from Bill Cosby. We had to burn that photo. As I come through all the team photos, I quickly realized none of my accomplishments were achieved alone. There were many people in my life that encouraged and nurtured my athletic career and competitive spirit. I was recruited in 1993 by Coach Streeter to play football. Not quite certain what I wanted to do, but I did want to go to a liberal arts school, so Gettysburg fit me well. I visited numerous colleges, but the atmosphere and vibe of Gettysburg was unlike any other school. I didn't need a weekend stay to make my decision, just one day with the coaches and lunch with a great friend from my hometown, Mike Kane in Servo. The place was buzzing to me, the food was amazing, it felt like home. Big Daddy, thank you for helping me with that decision and being such a great friend and big brother before, during, and after our time at Gettysburg. Big Daddy Kane right there with his dad, Gene Kane, table 15. Actually, I think going through the bullet hole today, you guys just recruited my son, Jaden, who absolutely loved the bullet hole. I would like to thank and acknowledge all my football teammates I entered into Gettysburg with in 1993. Third floor, Paul Hall was my new home with about 10 other football players. It felt like a football fraternity to me. It was just for a couple of weeks of practice before the rest of campus showed up. We became fast friends, sharing the same experiences of being new to campus and new to a team. We were all here for Gettysburg, but soon we were here for each other. D3, playing football for D3 was for the love of the game. No scholarships, no thoughts of playing on Sundays. Except we did have Dwayne Marcus on our team, so my sophomore year, double sessions, we had about 10 to 12 NFL scouts there. So those practices of those few days, some of the O-linemen would hit a little bit extra harder, trying to impress some NFL scouts, but they weren't here for you guys, they were here for Dwayne. I did want to thank my teammates who are here and made the trip: Mike York, Rob Holmes, Gordon Morrison, and those who have left us too soon, John Buzzkirk. I also wanted to thank our football coach, Coach Streeter and Campo, for treating us like men, even though we often acted as boys. You taught us hard work, dedication, and focus, which we could take to our days long after school. My favorite speech on focus came from Coach Streeter, during which he bounced a broomstick in the palm of his hand for what felt like about 15 minutes while telling us how to stay the course and have our blinders on. If he dropped that thing just once, the entire speech would have lost all of its effect, and I thought it was one of the most impressive things if he held it for that long. Oftentimes, I did not think you coaches even liked us. Freshman year, I had the best game of my career against Dickinson, 18 tackles, 1 interception, and most importantly, a W in the win column, 28-7 over Dickinson. Would you believe Coach Campbell yelled at me for each and every one of those tackles because I did not wrap up? I think I would have given up around tackle 7, 8, I don't know. But I guess that is what they call tough love. And I think my 2 kids right here can attest to that I use that on a daily basis. After freshman football, I had no plans of playing baseball, which is ironic. We all decided to dedicate ourselves to the weight room and spring workouts to better ourselves for sophomore year. Luckily for me, Coach Campbell was the baseball coach and called us to get to baseball practice, tryouts, and basically the rest was history for baseball. Baseball was an incredible experience, but every year, excuse me, we had to get through the end of winter before the games could start. We practiced late nights, early mornings, cooped up in the field house, with an occasional day right here in the ballroom under your feet, practicing sliding. At Tuesday, we're in college. Why do we practice sliding? As a college out there, I never understood that. So you're gonna have to tell me that one. These were the times that the team would bond, and I became friends quickly with fellow third floor Paul Haller, Jeff Williamson. I think we had a mutual admiration for each other's approach and love for baseball. Jeff was as competitive as I, and I thank him for pushing me to become a better player. And Jeff, he's right there at table 15 as well. Each year we look forward to spring training, Cocoa Beach, Florida. For 4 years, this was my favorite time of year. Yes, we missed spring break with all our other friends, but this time is special that only a few of us got to experience. Unfortunately, you have to fly to get there. I had never been on a plane before freshman year. I think we took a propeller plane from BWI to New York, which I thought I was going to die in. But I would sacrifice anything for this game. And come to find out now, they take the bus to Vero Beach, so I missed my time in there. We won a lot of games, we lost a lot of games. We played hard every day and had fun. We hated Coach Campos and home game music, sounds of, "We're talking baseball." Do you still play these songs? "Say hey, say who, say Willie," and Joltin' Joe DiMaggio, to name a few. But I know I would do anything to hear those tunes again and be playing in the Gettysburg Pinstripes. Thank you to my teammates who played side by side with me for 4 years: Jeff Williamson, Mike Manzo, Joe Trani, Chris Volpe, and Jeff Bauer. I want to thank my grandparents who are no longer with us. They literally supported me in every way possible, and for that I will always be grateful. My grandfather was a high school football and track coach who played football at Auburn University and a short time in the NFL. He had 4 daughters and was eager to share his wealth of athletic knowledge to me, his first grandson. They came to as many Gettysburg football and baseball games as they could, and they were real, true Bullet fans. I would like to thank my family for coming tonight. I met my wife here at Gettysburg, and it was love at first sight, for me. Kristen took some convincing, and I was up for the challenge. She was a fixture at every baseball game, and never once saw me play football. Last Friday, we just celebrated our 16th wedding anniversary. In truth, we actually went to the same high school, but I was a year older, so we ran in different circles. But as my story goes, and if anyone asks, she followed me to Gettysburg. My daughter Michaela and my son Jaden, I am your biggest fan. They are continuing the sports tradition in our family, playing soccer, swimming, lacrosse, baseball, a little basketball, flag football. My record on that board in the Swift Club is gone, but it's still littered with the Cordova name because of these two right here, and with more to come. Your hard work and dedication are admirable, and I enjoy watching you play and compete every game. The friendship and lessons you are learning now will last a lifetime. Remember to always be a great teammate, a humble winner, and a gracious loser. When I think about hard work, bad breaks I've had with sports, working on relationships, I like to think of my favorite quote that I'll leave you with tonight. It comes from the movie Vanilla Sky. The sweet is never as sweet without the sour. If you never experience the sour, you can never truly appreciate the sweet. Tonight is my sweet, and I thank you all for that.
Don't worry, Joe, unless the internet goes down, you've got your name all over our website. So I've interviewed a lot of people for these videos over the years. I don't know, 6, 7 years I've been doing this, so times 6, 40-some interviews, some multiple times. I'm always amazed when I have conversations with the inductees and the interviewees, how similar their replies are. It's amazing, and that holds true certainly for the next video, which you'll see, which is about our inductee, Lauren Frankfurt.
Lauren Frankfurt received an irreplaceable experience when she came to Gettysburg College, competing in 2 sports at a high level and building a foundation for a successful post-collegiate career in the athletics world. The Central Dauphin High School graduate and Harrisburg native made her mark on the soccer field as the leader of Gettysburg's defensive backfield.
You know, she was a player who embraced the challenge, and you could see that she always had that temperament, coming in, and she was a little bit raw at the outset of that, but being a player of good size, lithe, tall figure, and had pretty good pace, both in terms of quickness and over covering ground. Was someone who, for someone her size, she really had a deft touch with her feet, and really played very efficiently there.
Frankfurt steered Gettysburg to the first of 3 consecutive NCAA appearances beginning in 1997. As a junior, she anchored a defense that tied the school record with 10 shutouts. The Bullets returned to the top of the conference in 1998, a feat it would repeat with Frankfurt serving as team captain in 1999. Gettysburg went off to the national stage yet again in 1999, marking the only time in program history the Bullets made 3 straight NCAA appearances.
There's a certain swagger in players when they play sometimes that exudes confidence not only in self, but becomes contagious in players around her. It's kind of like a stone in the pond and the ripples that are created as a result of that. And she had that ability to do that. And it was something that, it all kind of started with her. And, she had a great influence on the players around her that, it becomes a contagion in that confidence thing. And she had the ability to do that in a really great manner.
Frankfurt emerged from her collegiate soccer career as one of the most decorated players in program history. She was a 3-time All-Centennial Conference first-team selection, 3-time All-Mid-Atlantic Region, and 2-time All-America, copying first-team status in 1999. Frankfurt also played 3 seasons with the women's basketball team, serving as the squad's top contributor off the bench. She led the Bullets to winning records in each of her 3 campaigns, including a 17-8 overall mark in 1997-98.
Well, I think behind the curtain, she takes a great deal of pride in what those accomplishments were for her while she was at Gettysburg and who she represented and representing our team and the school. And I think she took a great deal of pride in all of that. But for me, I don't think that's the thing that really she hangs her hat on. I think for me, her greatest accomplishment is what happened as a result of her experience at Gettysburg and what she went on to do afterwards. She got into the realm of coaching, and she recognized that all of those things and instilling her own sense of courage and faith and hope in those players that she guided after she left. For me, that's something that I take a great deal of pride in watching her evolve as a young person. And her Gettysburg education and her time spent with us and with the basketball team and her accomplishments there, which is a whole another spectrum of meeting challenge and adversity, and what she did, that playing back-to-back seasons and being stellar academically takes a lot of dedication, takes a lot of commitment of time and energy to accomplish that.
Frankfurt graduated from Gettysburg with a degree in health and exercise science and later earned a master's of education at Millersville. She went on to serve as the head women's soccer coach and assistant athletic director at Lebanon Valley College, where she led the Dutchmen to their first ever NCAA Division III appearance and earned Commonwealth Coach of the Year accolades. Frankfurt has taken her competitive desire to the world of CrossFit and currently owns and serves as a head coach at Chaka CrossFit in New Cumberland. She achieved her dreams of being a competitive and successful 2-sport athlete at Gettysburg, and now those dreams have led her to a spot in the Hall of Athletic Honor.
One of the things for me, I think, in the out layer is you look at all the accolade that she accrued and being recognized as an All-American, first-team All-American, which boils it down to being a top 11 in the country out of 300 plus schools, and what she was doing, I think, were fantastic. But I think for Lauren, it was moreover, it was a sense of what she had the ability to do for the people around her and the people that she influenced around her. And she had the great ability to lead a team on a consistent basis of getting the team up and flying at a high altitude and maintaining that altitude game after game and season after season. And that was her level of consistency in guiding and leading her team to great moments. Victory over the years that she was there.
Thank you, Corey, for that great video introduction. Such a great honor to be here tonight. The first comment I have about that video is, I mean, Mo and Patsy, you guys can attest, I think that's the first time Coach ever called me Lauren. And it was weird to hear that. I mean, I was Frankie. I mean, my name's Lauren Frankfurt. We had 3 Laurens, a Lori, and a Laura my freshman year. So we lost our name the day we came to campus. So Lauren's a foreign word to me when I step onto this campus. It was really hard to believe I had a chance to go out with Coach Garrett and talk to the women's team. That was 20 years ago that I was here. It doesn't seem like that long ago. But I will tell you, I can remember many of those times like they were yesterday. So many great memories, both on and off the field. For me, it's crazy, you know, kind of what Coach had to say in the video, because the impact that being a member of the women's soccer team here at Gettysburg had on me, like he said, lasted far beyond my 4 years here on campus. And a lot of that, most of that, was because of Coach Warazek. Having a mentor like Coach Warazek, someone who's had a brilliant soccer mind and taught us so much about the game, even if half the time we needed a dictionary to understand what he was saying. He was a selfless leader that demanded the most of us in a firm but gentle way. And someone who valued all of the intangibles, like I mentioned, nicknames, that brought us together as a family. And that family that he brought together, he was able to get the most out of us on the field because of that. And his influence on me, like he mentioned, really developed who I was once I left here and my ability as a collegiate soccer coach. I took so much from what I learned from him and from what I learned from my teammates, and I carried on those characteristics to help navigate my world as a head collegiate soccer coach at the age of 24 or 25. I was only a couple years older than the kids I was coaching, but because I had the fortunate experience of having Coach Warazek lead me in my 4 years here, I was more than prepared to take on that team. So I am absolutely forever grateful for the experience I had with him as a coach. And then there's my teammates, and they're my sisters. We always joked that we never needed a sorority, that we had ourselves built in right in our team. And without them, I wouldn't be here today. Our love and support for one another pushed us all to raise our game because we were the true definition of the team, and we worked together for each other. I'm sincerely thankful to be inducted into the Hall of Athletic Honor tonight. My name is on that plaque, but I accept this award on behalf of my teammates, those who mentored me and those who played beside me during my tenure. A few of them are here tonight, Patsy Corsdeo and Maureen McBrien Benjamin, and that means the world to me. And it would be remiss of me not to include Hillary Moyer-Hess, one of our biggest fans, and she's proven that by being here tonight, so thank you, Hill. I'm also so appreciative for the rest of my friends and family that are here to support me tonight. And to my dad, who never missed a game, he was in the picture of the All-American banquet, who I'm certain is looking down on me tonight in one of his proudest moments. Congratulations to all the other 2019 inductees, and a heartfelt thank you to the Orange and Blue Club for recognizing my achievements. I will leave you with this. The pride I have for being a Bullet comes from my experience I had playing with my teammates and the motto that we embodied: for each other, from within, trust.
I've interviewed Todd Warazek quite a few times for these over the years. He's the king of metaphors. There was at least twice as many that were actually in the video that I had to cut out. So on to our next inductee. Sometimes timing is everything. And in the case of our next inductee, it seems fitting that the women's tennis program had a fantastic season this past spring, qualifying for the conference playoffs for the first time and winning a postseason match. Our next inductee helped set the bar for the current team. Let's get to know Cynthia Annis.
Cynthia Haynes came to Gettysburg College the same year the institution joined the Centennial Conference. It was a match made in heaven for the graduate of Holy Spirit High School, as she quickly assumed a major role for the up-and-coming tennis program. Haynes won a total of 17 matches in her debut season on the court, and the numbers would only continue to add up in the years to come.
When I looked at Cynthia's stats, that's what really stuck out was her individual success along with the team success. What stands out to me is that it seems like she was a big team player. Her tennis can feel like an individual sport, but it's clear to me that she really put the team first. She played all up and down the lineup, and she was consistently successful at each spot.
Haynes was among a trio of bullets to earn selection to the All-Conference team during her sophomore season, and she rose to first-team status as a singles player in 1996. By her final campaign, she was among the best the Centennial had to offer according to the coaches, gaining first-team All-League in singles and doubles, as well as being named CC Player of the Year.
It's hard to get on the all-conference team in general because usually there's so many good players. All the coaches are voting, and you give a reason for why your player should be the conference player, but all the different coaches in the conference have to vote on that. So the fact that she was able to rise to the top there means that consistently through the season, coaches were seeing her stick out in a different way than all of the other good players.
The crowning achievement of Haynes' career came in 1996. Under the guidance of head coach Bill Fitzinger, the women's tennis team turned in one of the greatest campaigns in program history, culminating in the first Centennial Conference Championship. Haynes was near perfect, winning a combined 34 matches in singles and doubles competition, including a perfect 16-0 doubles mark with Tara Schmidt. The Bullets went 19-1 overall and were perfect in 10 Centennial contests.
They went undefeated in conference play. It's unbelievable. I want that to become realistic for us again. So again, Cynthia's legacy here is just really inspiring to me, and it makes me hopeful and makes me excited for the future. But yeah, looking at that and just how you would have to be so steady throughout the season to beat every single team, it's really incredible, and it just goes to show how focused she was as a leader on the team because she was a junior that year, and she really, I'm sure, was a big leader and people looked up to her. And so it goes to show how much focus she had and how much focus probably that whole team had to make that happen. And then they were runner-up the next year, so they stayed really powerful in the conference. And yeah, it's just looking back on that, I think that's such a great accomplishment, and it's such a great accomplishment for our program.
Haynes graduated with a degree in history and minored in Spanish. She achieved a master's degree from Rutgers University and has worked for the New Jersey Department of Education since 1998. She is married to Mark Sandin, and the couple has 3 children, Louisa, Corinne, and Benjamin. The only CC Player of the Year in women's tennis to this day, Haynes is the 9th player in program history elected to the Hall of Honor.
Cynthia Haynes deserves to be in the Hall of Athletic Honor for many reasons, for her consistency throughout her 4 years, her dominant ability in the conference of great teams. She's the only player who has won over 100 matches in her career, which is an unbelievable achievement. And she was also a great leader. She was captain, she played singles and doubles, and she had great records all through. And she was a big part of the team winning the conference championship in '96. So to me, she really rises to the top when you look at her stats and just her characteristics throughout her time here at Gettysburg.
Wow, good evening. Thank you so much for this great honor. Thank you, Allie, for working on the video. I know this college had a tough time finding, or my coach at the time, Coach Hitchinger, so I really do appreciate you taking the time to work on this video for me. First, I would like to thank Gettysburg College, the Orange and Blue Club, the Hall of Athletic Honor Committee for this great honor. I would also like to congratulate the other Gettysburgians who are here tonight and being honored, especially my classmate Joe. We were both here at the same time. I remember him playing sports, seeing him. I remember Kristen. So it's great to connect again after all these years. When I received the letter notifying me of this honor in the mail, which I have to tell you, it comes as a certified letter to your home. It made me a little nervous. It's not every day you receive a certified letter from your college, especially 25 years after graduating. I was a little taken back. It also didn't help that my mailman, as he handed it to me, said, well, maybe they're taking your degree back. Thank you. I opened the letter, which I do have to mention is actually dated on my birthday, April 9th, ironically. And I started to read it and read what it said. And I had this overwhelming feeling of surprise, honor, and overall emotion that brought me back to my days here at Gettysburg. I read the letter, and then I immediately called my parents, and then my husband, Mark, and then I texted two of my best friends, who I met on my very first day here at Gettysburg in 1993 in Stein Hall. We lived right next to each other, probably the smallest rooms on campus that year. Christy and Jenny. My mom, my husband, Christy and Jenny, along with my three wonderful children, Louisa, Corinne, and Benjamin, are all here with me tonight to celebrate in this amazing honor. My dad, who's a bit too weak to be here tonight, is here in spirit, and I know he was celebrating right here alongside me. Back in 1992, when I was looking at colleges, I knew I wanted a school that wasn't too big, and I wanted a school with strong academics. While I played tennis for 4 years in high school, I wasn't sure if I would be able to play in college as well. I remember visiting Gettysburg and staying with a junior tennis player for a weekend named Lori. I spent the night and met with Coach Bill Fitzinger, or Coach Fitz or Fitzy, as most people called him. I met the girls on the team here at Gettysburg and had a wonderful visit. It was just such a lovely time here for one night. It was just an amazing place. The visit made me realize that I wanted to attend Gettysburg, and I wanted to play tennis. My parents were thrilled when I was accepted to Gettysburg, and when I began to play tennis my freshman year. I played both singles and doubles here at Gettysburg. I had amazing teammates and doubles partners, Sarah and Tara, who I played with throughout the 4 years I was here. I love being able to play both singles and doubles, and doing my best to earn 2 points for our team as often as I could. Tennis is very much a mental game as well as a physical game, if anyone has played it. And I may not have been the fastest player on the court, I may not have been the hardest hitting player on the court, or had the fastest serve. But my focus was always to be consistent. And Coach always said, just get the ball in. Hit the ball, get your first serve in, get the ball in. I would try to be consistent and try not to make mistakes. I would want my opponents to make the mistakes and just be as consistent as I could. I always tried my hardest each and every match, and I never gave up. I wanted to win, I wanted my team to win, and I wanted my coach to win. I was lucky enough to play in a great team for 4 years here. Now, another thought, or more specifically a word that almost immediately came to my mind when I received the letter last April and thought about the accomplishment our team had achieved between 1993 and 1997 was Lipscomb. You see, during my tennis career at Gettysburg, our team started to travel to Hilton Head Island. It was one of the first times we started to go down during spring break. As Joe said, we would also often have to give up our spring break, but it was an amazing time, amazing week to go and travel with your teammates and play tennis. We played against other colleges, not in our conference, while down in Hilton Head. If anyone here remembers Coach Fitz, you may remember that he always got lost, always. Back then, we did not have Google Maps, we did not have our phones, we did not have any technology. But instead, I would sit in the front of the van with my map open, wide, with the route highlighted as best we could, trying to figure out where we were going to each and every college. So the thought of traveling to Hilton Head was a little scary for all of us back then, but it was also very exciting. I believe the first year or two, we actually couldn't get the college van. So I ended up taking my car with 3 teammates, coach had a car, and we drove to Hilton Head. When I think about it now, I'm really not sure if the college would ever allow that to happen again nowadays. But back then, for the first year or two, we had to drive our own cars. We were determined to get there, and we were determined to practice our tennis for the week. Hilton Head was a lot of fun and a lot of work. We played 2 to 3 matches a day in the heat against different colleges. It was great for practice, great for team building. I will never forget our 1996 trip and that year. We had a strong team. As the video showed, this was the year that we won the Centennial Conference Championship. Our team ended that year, 1996, with a season record of 19-1. Yes, 19-1. We had only one loss, and it will never be forgotten. We lost to Lipscomb University. Coach would never let us forget this. Lipscomb University is a university in National Tennessee that we've never heard of before. We ended our season 19-1, and Coach wanted a perfect season, and we almost had it. We were so close. We kept reminding him that we were often reminded by people at Gettysburg and around that we did have a perfect season in the Centennial Conference. But every news article, every plaque, every award, everything always had 19-1 listed for the 1996 season. Now, while I'm sure Lipscomb is a lovely school, anytime our coach or anyone would talk about a record, they would say, yeah, why did we have to lose to Lipscomb? For all those who are familiar with the show Seinfeld, you may remember the character Newman. Well, Lipscomb was our Newman. While working on my speech, I had to look up the university and see if it still had a tennis team, just out of curiosity. Well, it does. And the website says the university has Division I athletic programs. So maybe losing our one match in 1996 out of 20 matches to a D1 school wasn't so bad. Well, thinking back on my years at Gettysburg, I'm reminded that these were some of the best years of my life. Playing tennis was a huge part of my success, not only in college, but also in my life today. I received an amazing education and made lifelong friends while here at Gettysburg. Being an athlete and a student quickly forced me to learn how to balance my time and my energy. Schoolwork came first, but practice and matches were a very close second. My grades were always a little bit better during tennis season, and I think it was because I had to use each and every minute of my day wisely. This is a skill that has come handy in my life as I juggle being a mom of 3 children, a wife, having a career, and volunteering in my kids' school and our community. I would like to take a moment to thank some important people in my life. First, my parents, who continue to support me each and every day. They came to matches in Gettysburg, which is almost a 4-hour drive for them, as well as matches at the other colleges that we played in the conference. They drove to Hilton Head to support our tennis team and often brought snacks and drinks for the entire team to share. My mom would make brownies. She would bring fruit salad, everything she could to all of our matches. My friends, Christy and Jenny, both of whom are here today, and both of whom had impressive careers here at Gettysburg playing field hockey as well. They would often come to my matches. They supported me both on the field and off the field, and still do to this day. The staff here at Gettysburg, not only the professors, but the athletic department, specifically Coach Fitzinger, Coach Wright, and of course, Kelly Jones, who we would see each and every day in the locker room, and who always greeted us with a smile. It was so nice to see Kelly again here tonight. I really appreciate everything you did for us, Kelly. Finally, I would like to thank my husband, Mark, and my 3 wonderful children. They're my biggest fans, and while they may never see me play a match here on the fields of Gettysburg, they recognize and now see in person how special my time was here, and how honored I am to be selected as a member of the 2019 Hall of Athletic Honor here at Gettysburg College. This is an honor I never imagined I would have received as I entered Gettysburg back in 1993 and started my college tennis career. But looking back, our team accomplished so many things together. We truly were a team. I am forever thankful for the 4 amazing years I had here at Gettysburg, both on and off the court. I thank you for this honor. Thank you.
You know, I must have watched that video like 7, 10 times. And that screen wasn't split like that when I watched it. But when you put a video in front of a crowd of people, naturally something goes wrong. So I'm sorry, Allie, your forehead was on the top of that. I'll fix it for the final cut. So it wasn't that long ago that our next inductee was standing on the other end of a lacrosse field trying to lead his own program to a victory against our men's lacrosse team and his former mentor. Before he was a successful head coach in his own right, he learned a thing or two as an All-American at Gettysburg. Let's find out more about Mike Planholt.
Gettysburg was a well-established national power and annual contender for the Centennial Conference crown when Mike Planholt joined the program in 1998. And there was no letdown when the Cockeysville, Maryland native picked up a long pole and began patrolling the defensive backfield for the Bullets.
He played pole up top. He had natural speed and quickness. Mike was just a heck of an athlete, probably still is, and could run faster than those folks. So his speed, his tenacity, his ability to pick up a ground ball really set him apart, you know. And then later on in his career, we dropped him low. He was up top at first, and we made him a close defenseman, and he became a weightlifter. And he really got strong. He really committed to it, and it made him just a heck of a close defenseman.
Planholt was a 3-time All-Centennial Conference selection on defense, including first-team honors in 2000 and 2001. During his 4-year tenure, the Bullets never lost a Centennial contest, going 24-0 overall and laying claim to 4 consecutive league crowns.
You know, in those days, I just thought that we were just better. You know what I mean? And we had great talent. And I think the conference was important to them, but they had their sights set on a whole lot more than that, you know. So that was just the things they had to do to get to where they wanted to be, you know. And I don't mean to belittle that at all, because it was important. But man, they had their sights on so much more that it was just something they were going to do to get to where they wanted to be, to compete even at a higher level.
Everything came together in 2001 for Planholt and the Bullets. The team won another conference title and ascended to the #1 ranking in the country on the way to the program's first ever appearance in the NCAA Division III championship game. Planholt was given the William Stiles Award, recognizing the top defenseman in all of Division III, along with first-team All-America and All-Conference status.
Mike became the Defensive Player of the Year because whoever the other team had, no matter how good he was, we had someone that was going to stop him. He was going to get it done. That gives you so many options defensively when you know that guy wasn't going to go to the cage or score his points or do what he had to do. I think the other thing was Mike's clearing ability was probably the best in the country. When that ball got in his stick and the way he could get by people and make good decisions and pass it to where he wanted to go, there was nobody that was better than him. And I think he really deserved getting the Defensive Player.
After graduating from Gettysburg with a degree in psychology, Planholt entered the coaching ranks, first serving as an assistant at Muhlenberg before rejoining the Bullets and helping the team win 3 conference titles. His first head coaching job came at Randolph-Macon College, and he has served as the head coach at Ohio Wesleyan University for the last 9 years, leading the Battling Bishops to 3 conference titles and 5 NCAA appearances. Planholt has faced off with his alma mater 3 times, most recently in the 2018 NCAA Division III quarterfinals.
Coaching against him is so nerve-wracking. You know, he's such a great coach. He does such a great job that when you have to play against him, you know, you're like, holy crow, you're going against one of the best. And, you know, you always hope to come out on top for sure. And I think the other thing is that I love him so much, you know, I mean, it's fun to win, but it also sucks at the same time, you know what I mean? But you know, he's I think, one of the best coaches in the country.
Planholt and his wife Dawn have 4 children, Mary, Mikey, Dean, and Bryce. Once a star student athlete and now a successful head coach, Mike Planholt's ability to lead on and off the field has cemented his legacy as one of the Gettysburg greats in the Hall of Athletic Honor.
Mike Planholt deserves to be in the Gettysburg Hall of Honor because he was a great leader, because he loved Gettysburg. He was the best defensive player in the country his senior year, but was awful good the whole 4 years. He put his team first before him, and he truly, truly was one of the best defensive players to ever play in Division III lacrosse.
What an honor. Thank you so much, Corey, for putting that video together. Coach Shancik, thank you so much for your words. It is no fun to lose to you. I'd rather challenge you in a race than coaching lacrosse on the sidelines. I think I'd have a better shot. But this is an incredible, incredible honor to me. It means probably more than you know to me. And I'm going to try not to make eye contact with too many people because I'm pretty emotional right now. But the first person I really want to thank, I really want to thank God, my Lord and Savior. I was raised Catholic. I'm a Christian, and my faith means a great deal to me. And He's always faithful, and I feel like He's blessed me quite a bit in my life. And He's allowed me to be here today. I'm going to start off by posing kind of an interesting question. And that question is, what do you think is the secret of life? And the reason I'm going to ask that question is because Coach Shancik and I actually had that conversation. I'm going to get to that in a minute. I'm going to tell you what we talked about. And if I know Coach Shancik well, he's probably wondering what he said during that conversation. But before I get there, there was one of the lessons that we were taught when we were playing, among many others, was when you're on a team and you're doing things together, it's never just about you. And tonight, it's not about me. And I want everyone to know that. I don't think that this Hall of Honor recognition is really about me as much as it is the great teams that I was on, the great coaches that that I was blessed enough to play under. I don't think it's a coincidence that I am here today. I played with 2 starting goalies in my career. Both of them are in the Hall of Honor. One of them is here today, Tim McGinnis. Thanks for being here, Tim. But I want to thank my parents. I really want to thank my parents for sending me to Loyola Blakefield High School in Baltimore. Thank you for sending me to Gettysburg. You were both incredible role models for me. My siblings, I want to thank my siblings mainly for putting up with me. When I would tell you to go in the backyard and put on a men's lacrosse helmet and play lacrosse against me. Katie, Claire, thank you for that. But my dad is my hero. And it's not because he's a cardiologist, he's a doctor, and he saves lives every day. He always put our family first. I can't remember an event or a game that he didn't come to. And he would film all of our games, and just an unbelievable role model, man. And he's my hero. He would play catch with me after a bad practice in high school. But probably the memory that sticks out the most to me is him spending 2 hours every night with me on math homework in high school. So thank you, Dad. My mom is my biggest supporter. Most people don't know this, but when I was in high school, my grandparents became very ill and they had to live with us. And when they came to live with us, my mom basically became a nurse to both grandparents. And she's my biggest supporter because I never missed a practice. She was always there to pick me up on time. And if there was anything that we ever needed, she was always there. There was no sacrifice too big to ask for. And I just want to thank you, Mom, for being there for me. I want to thank Coach Steele for being here, Jamie Steele. Graduated in 1994. He was he was our defensive coordinator for 3 years when I was here. He was the man in the trenches coming up with the game plans. He has been an incredible mentor and friend to me, not only when I was playing, but also when I decided to coach as well. What a competitor that guy is. I mean, he loves to win, but more than he loves to win, he hates to lose. And he was an unbelievable competitor, taught us to compete on the defensive side of the ball. Tommy Pierce, Timmy, Charles, I want to thank you guys for being here tonight. I love you guys. Thanks for being here. And then Coach Jancic. I want to thank Coach Jancic for everything that he's done. So this is the evolution of my relationship with Coach Jancic. So he started off as my coach, and then he was my boss. And then, so he's always been a mentor to me in life and in our profession. Then he was our wedding officiant. My wife and I got married, and he was the officiant in our wedding. And then later on, he was my colleague, and I am proud to call him a friend. He is the gold standard in my mind for what a lacrosse coach or a coach, period, should be. He is the coach in my mind. So, Coach, I love you. Thank you for always being there. I still talk to Coach Jancic every week, and so we have a pretty special relationship. I don't think the words that I say up here will do justice to how much you mean to me. So thank you very much. Gettysburg is a special place. You know, it's interesting. I came here today. I worked here for 4 years, and Joe, the bartender, I remember Joe from when I was a student here. You know, people come here and they don't leave. You know, Kelly Jones is all Kelly Jones. Coach Jancic has been here forever. Coach Campo has been here forever. Coach Cantelli has been here forever. It's just a really, really special place. And I want to thank the college for giving me some pretty special things in my life. Gettysburg has given me many gifts. It's given me a great education. It's given me great friends. It's given me the opportunity to play under some great coaches. But by far, the greatest gift that Gettysburg has ever given me was the opportunity to meet my wife, Dawn. I could not ask for a better life partner, Dawn, or mother of my children. You are truly my greatest blessing. Thank you very much. Thank you guys for being here. Good night.
Well, I mentioned irony in the sports world, and it's ironic that our next inductee, we're finishing with him, giving his prowess as the most prolific finisher in the history of the men's soccer program. You're right, we dragged him all the way up from Arkansas for this video. So, let's find out about Chris Pryor.
When Chris Pryor arrived on the Gettysburg campus in the fall of 1996, the men's soccer program was establishing itself as a prominent figure in the regional and national standings with a strong core of skilled players. The graduate of the Lawrenceville School in New Jersey infused the program with new energy and invaluable leadership that translated to even bigger things on the soccer pitch.
I think that, Chris was surrounded by a lot of good players, and that certainly helps. Any soccer player who, especially an attacking player who scores a lot of goals, will tell you that there's an awful lot of work being done on the field for you to be able to finish it off, if you will. His explosion as a sophomore, I think, was him gaining that first year of college soccer under his belt, realizing I can do this and I can do it at a high level, even as a sophomore, gained that confidence, and then used his soccer intelligence, quite honestly, to really catapult himself and our team at that point.
After a strong start to his collegiate career, Pryor's star took a meteoric path in 1997 as the sophomore went off for 17 goals and 7 assists on the way to being named All-Conference First Team and All-Mid-Atlantic Region's Second Team. The crowning moment of the season came against Centennial champ Muhlenberg in the NCAA Division III tournament when Pryor scored the game-winning goal in the 108th minute to lift the Bullets into the quarterfinals for the first time in program history. In 1998, Pryor and classmate Jason Vicio combined to score a total of 90 points by themselves as Gettysburg went on to win a program record 18 matches.
You know, it's very difficult to find one person who is a goal scorer or, you know, somebody who is so attacking minded that they can literally take over a game. We were blessed to have multiple players, and Chris was certainly one of them, and a key one at that. But, you know, we had a time when, you know, those two in particular, Jason Vicio and Chris Pryor, where, you know, they took turns. You know, if one was making the assist, the other was scoring the goal, and then the next minute it was flipped around. And that script played out very nicely for us. We took advantage of their success and their talents and their understanding of the game and the desire to be highly successful, and became the most successful program in the school's history.
For the first 3 seasons of Pryor's career, the Bullets came agonizingly close to the Centennial Conference Championship, finishing runner-up in both 1997 and 1998. The trend changed with Pryor serving as team captain in 1999 as Gettysburg finally captured the elusive crown, finishing unbeaten in 9 conference contests. Pryor was named the Centennial Conference Player of the Year after leading the league in scoring with 38 points on 15 goals and 8 assists. Pryor finished his outstanding career as the program's all-time leading scorer with 127 career points, an honor he continues to hold today.
You really saw Chris as the ultimate leader in his senior year. You know, he was very magnetic in his personality, and he was able to pull together, you know, very different individuals from himself for the betterment of the cause. And they had come so close so many times, 3 years in a row, leading up to their senior year. And, you know, Chris was the rallying cry. You know, he was the one that was saying, you know, it was all about the team. It would have been easy for him as such a successful individual player to really want to keep the spotlight on himself. But you saw a different Chris Pryor his senior year. He really wanted the team to be able to achieve its goals. And he put the team on his back and really, you know, carried forward as a great leader, as our team captain, and somebody who made us all believe, you know, that it's great that we are able to score all these goals and be successful as individuals, but boy, that team prize was going to be a lot more special. And it really was. You know, I think it paid off immensely when we were able to finally win a conference championship in his senior year. And I think if you asked him today what the greatest accomplishment was, that would probably be the #1 thing he would talk about.
After graduating from Gettysburg with degrees in sociology and anthropology, Pryor went on to earn his master's in education from the University of Virginia. He has worked in administration at the high school level for the past 2 decades and currently serves as the assistant head for advancement at the Congressional School in Falls Church, Virginia. He and his wife Lauren have 2 children, Emma and Anderson. The most prolific scorer in the 9-decade-long history of men's soccer at Gettysburg, Chris Pryor can now lay claim to a spot in the Hall of Athletic Honor.
Chris Pryor deserves to be inducted into the Gettysburg College Hall of Athletic Honor because he became the ultimate team player, the ultimate leader in the ultimate team sport. And for the Gettysburg College men's soccer program, he was able to take that program further than it ever had been before and has been ever since, as one of its most prolific scorers, but also one of its greatest team members. And I'm proud of him for that.
fun to have your kids here to see this happen. But you know, I arrived in '96 in August. It's very hot. I was very excited about playing college soccer, or at least trying to make the team. There were 20 of us, 20 freshmen, and Coach had us get our track shoes and walk over to the track and say, okay, we're going to start the Cooper test. Well, I got a letter a couple months earlier saying what the Cooper test was. It's 2 miles in 12 minutes. I hadn't done much training for it. I just figured I could wing it. I was a good athlete, and I would just make it happen. So I got paired up with Scott Metzger, who at the time was the co-captain of the team, and he took the first run, and he finished in 12 minutes. He was a big, stocky defender. I thought, wow, that was impressive. It took me 16 minutes to finish the 2 miles my freshman year, and that was certainly not the way I wanted to start my career at Gettysburg College. But you know, fast forward to my sophomore year, and I remember we were sitting at a Wendy's. The team was off to a pretty good start. I scored a couple goals, but I was having a frosty with Coach Wright, and I remember a very important question that I asked him, one that actually changed the trajectory of my career here. I said, how many goals do I need to score this season not to have to run the Cooper next year? And he said 15. I said, done. I wound up scoring 17 goals that season. And the reason that was important to me was because Coach, you know, you knew what the standard was, and I never could make it. So I had to get up at 6 a.m. in the morning and run with Coach and his dog Blitz around the battlefields. And that was before the 3 days that took place in August, which is, you know, steaming hot here. We never got those spring break trips to Hilton Head and other places. We got Gettysburg in August. Although I was promised a European travel trip, but I don't think we ever got that, right, Vish? So, you know, the 17 goals was great, but what was even better is that season we really went on a tear, and we were just winning games. We were clicking as a team, and we took the team all the way to the Elite Eight. We had a home game here against the College of New Jersey, which didn't work out as we had hoped. We had a tremendous captain at that time. His name was Greg Stevzik, and he was inducted into the Hall of Honor 2 years ago. And Greg wasn't able to play that game, not because he had an nagging injury. It's because Greg had a mouth. And the ref decided that he had too many yellow cards in one game, and so, but I think that was the year we had a shot to win the national championship. We had home field advantage. It was a miserable day. It was raining, and the College of New Jersey just bested us. But a few of my teammates are in the room tonight, and of course, as Coach mentioned, it's a team sport, and my personal success is obviously linked with the quality of the players that I played with. Jason Mischio, who was mentioned in the video, was my partner for 4 years up top. And it was actually a pretty simple play, right? He'd pass the ball to me, or somebody would pass the ball to me. I would shield it. I'd send it on a diagonal run. Jason, with his speed, would run down the corner. I'd crash the goal, and he'd serve it back in, and I'd kick it in the net. I mean, it was pretty much, that's how I probably got 30 goals, is Jason feeding the ball to me. And in 1999, he had the national record for assists. So Jason was a hell of a player, and I appreciated playing with him. But offense is one thing, and you need a good defense, right? And so I have John Katerva here. John was our goalie. Sorry. And Josh Rubinek was the sweeper. And these two guys, they basically shut teams down. John still has records in both the college and the Centennial Conference for shutouts and career wins. And Josh was right in front of him for all that time, clearing the ball and also bodies out of the way. So they were great players, and I played with many great players. Too many to mention here. But there were two guys that I got to play with all 4 years that aren't here tonight, and that's Adam Outerbridge and Jesse Flynn. And they played in the midfield, so they linked us from the back to the front. But one of my favorite memories at the college, it actually has nothing to do with the guys or the coaches. It's actually my mother, right? So we were playing at home against Franklin and Marshall, and Franklin and Marshall was on the list of colleges that I considered going to. I kind of did that Central Pennsylvania tour. And, I come to find out afterward that my mom pulls the head coach of Franklin and Marshall aside after the game. I mean, we torched them. I think I had a hat trick. And she goes, "You really need to revamp your recruiting." And he goes, "Mrs. Pryor, thank you for letting me know." And she said, "My son really wanted to, consider Franklin and Marshall, and you never returned his letters. He sent you clips." And so, it's a small story about how my mother has always been my biggest supporter. I played soccer my entire life, and I played in the backyard with my brother, who's here tonight. Thank you, David. David was a Division I soccer player. Not that I'm bitter, but he played at American University and had a fine career himself. And I got to play at Lawrenceville, which is a wonderful high school for a great coach in Bill Treadway. And I got to play for a wonderful coach in Ted Terpstra, who's here tonight, who flew all the way from California. He was my club coach, and we went to Denmark together. And I also played for two great coaches here at Gettysburg. Dave Wright, who sent me a brilliant note, couldn't be with us, but Cindy's here, so thank you, Cindy. And Ken Corbrand, who is currently moving to Manioc, and said he couldn't make it tonight. But they were great people. They were very encouraging. They were very supportive. They trusted us, for the most part, to make good decisions on and off the field. And I'm eternally grateful for all the male mentors that I've had kind of growing up. The final goal of my career was scored actually against Franklin and Marshall, ironically enough. Not too far from that Wendy's, where I think I asked that important question. And it was assisted by Jason Vischio, of course. But what was kind of most interesting years later is that it was blocks away from my wife's childhood home. My wife is from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and today we live outside of Washington, D.C., and soccer remains an important part of our lives. We go to soccer practice or games 6 out of 7 days a week. My daughter Emma plays travel and is working on her scissor and her finish. And I coached my son Anderson's first grade team with all of his classmates. And the two best hours of the weekend are definitely watching them compete, watching them grow, watching them learn through sport. And as I watch today's team play, I'm really inspired by what Coach Metrick is doing here. Under his leadership, the program has certainly reemerged as a contender. He's started this new alumni community to support the current players in their employment and mentoring, and I'm excited to be a part of that. And he's teaching his players to kind of win the right way and to become real men. So I hope that they do well tomorrow against Haverford. We will certainly be in the stands cheering for you, and I'm excited to see where the program goes moving forward. I also want to congratulate my fellow inductees. It's pretty amazing to see your accomplishments. We played around the same time, so I'm very familiar with your success. But Gettysburg has a long tradition of success in the athletic program. And I look forward to coming back in future years and getting to wear my orange sash and kind of honor others that follow us. Some of whom maybe even in this room tonight. I also want to thank Gettysburg College and the athletic department and the selection committee. Being inducted into the hall is a tremendous recognition for me, but also for my family, and we are deeply appreciative. But I want to spend my final thank you goes out to my stepdad, Roy Riley. Roy made a call on my behalf back back in 1996 when I had decided that Gettysburg was where I wanted to be. My mother was trying to get in touch with the financial aid office, but somehow they kept dodging her call, or she had the wrong number. I didn't realize at the time that Gettysburg was a Lutheran college. And so when Roy called as the bishop, the Lutheran bishop from the state of New Jersey, somehow he just got patched right through. And so I appreciate you making that call, Roy. I appreciate that everything worked out in the end and that I had the opportunity to attend Gettysburg. It has certainly made a difference in my life and my career. And I'm forever grateful to be a Bullet. So thank you very much.
Congratulations to all of the inductees tonight. It was an honor digging through the old archives and talking to your former coaches and colleagues about your time here at Gettysburg. You are all truly remarkable people and are the definition of what it means to be Gettysburg great. For everyone else, you can still catch our inductees. They will be present at halftime of the football game tomorrow against Moravian. Game time is 1 p.m. If you're not interested in football, check out the Bullets volleyball team. They'll be in Brain Gym, taking on Bryn Mawr College, also at 1 o'clock. Then you can stick around for the women's soccer match against Bryn Mawr at 4 o'clock at Clark Field, and then hang out for the men's soccer match against Haverford College at 7 p.m. We'll also be honoring the men's soccer alumni, including Chris, at halftime of the men's soccer contest as part of the program's 90th anniversary. And don't forget to get your copy of Hen Brain, Building Men, written by Michael Berkner. It's out there. Room 126, it's out there. Whatever room number that is. All right, that's all I got. So at this time, I'd like to bring Hannah Calera, class of 2020, to the stand to sing the alma mater. Please refer to your program for the words. I hope they're in there, and I'm not lying to you. And go Bullets.